Shalom. All praises go to the Most High Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Kodash, that belong unto the elder apostles at Great Millstone for the teachings of the scriptures, among other things. Shalom to the sincere Akim across the world. Now, this is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 18, titled Elijah Meets with Obadiah. Verse 1. And it came to pass after many days that the word of Yahawah came to Elijah in the 3rd year, saying, Go, show thyself to Ahab, and I will send rain upon the earth. Because remember, they had been in famine for 3 years. Going back to chapter 17, 1 Kings chapter 17. And Elijah went to show himself to Ahab. And there was a sore famine in Samaria, which is the northern tribes, their headquarters, you could say. But it was here that it was actually mentioned for the first time. Let me see. Here. And he bought it, so it's what? Let me see. 1 Kings chapter 16, verse 24. And he bought the hill Samaria of Shemer for 2 talents of silver, and bought on the hill, and built on the hill, and called the name of the city which he built after the name of Shemer, the owner of the hill, Samaria. So 1 Kings chapter 16, verse 24. Is where Samaria was bought, and from then on our people had that, well, the northern tribes had that name, our people, but still the northern tribes had that name as their headquarters, like how the southern tribes had their headquarters, which represents them at Jerusalem, and this represents the northern tribes, because before this it was to a certain degree it was Shechem, because Shechem was on the border of Ephraim and Manasseh, but more Ephraim. It was Ephraim. Oh, I saw Shechem. Oops. Shechem in Mount Ephraim, and Hebron in Mount Judah. Here is where Judah had their headquarters first. Here is where King David became king. And then later on he moved to... Let me check it out. Where is it again? It's 1 Samuel 5, maybe? Then it was Chronicles, maybe. 2 Samuel 5, here. 2 Samuel 5, verse 5. In Hebron, King David reigned over Judah 7 years and 6 months. And in Jerusalem, King David reigned 30 years over all Israel and Judah, over all the northern tribes and Judah and Benjamin. Right. So, yeah, that's that. Let me go back. So it says, and Elijah went to show himself before Ahab, and there was a sore famine in Samaria. And Ahab called Obadiah, which was the governor of his house. This is not the prophet Obadiah. They had often the same names. Now Obadiah feared Yahawah greatly, for it was so when Jezebel cut off the prophets of the Lord Yahawah. Jezebel is a Canaanite. Now you can find it here. 1 Kings chapter 16, verse 31. And it came to pass, as if it had been a light thing for him, for who? For Ahab, the son of Omri. As if it had been a light thing for him to walk in the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, that he took to wife Jezebel, the daughter of Ethbaal, king of the Sidonians. So basically, what it's saying is here, as if it was something light, and he made it even worse. So, you know, they have a mannerism of saying it nowadays. I lost it. Wait. And on top of that, so he took up the evil ways of the heathens, and on top of that, he married a Canaanite woman too. So that's basically what it says right here. And went and served Baal and worshipped him. Child sacrifice. Just to let you know. For it was so. So 1 Kings 18:4. For it was so when Jezebel cut off the prophets of the Lord, she murdered them. She was murdering them. She didn't do it herself. It's a female. She doesn't have warrior strength. She has seductiveness and cunningness. It's just like when that woman that was committing adultery said, "I want the head of John the Baptist. I want him dead." And then he, according to his own word, he had to do it because back in those days, people did not just say something; they would actually do it, unless they were liars. But yeah, a lot of men, they kept their word back in the days, That Obadiah took 100 prophets and hid them by 50 in a cave and fed them with bread and water. And you have to understand, the Heavenly Father still provided for Elijah. He provided food for Elijah with birds. He provided food also for the other 50, all the 100 prophets. They put them by 50 by 50, so in 2 caves. So the Heavenly Father also caused for them to eat. And this time he didn't use birds, he used Obadiah. I don't know how Obadiah got the food because there was famine in the land, so I don't know how he got the food. But he got it. That's the power of the Heavenly Father. In the time of famine, he will find a way. And these 100 prophets, they still got to eat and drink and fed them bread and water. And this is 1 Kings chapter 16 for a precept. Where did I put that? No. 1 Kings 16. Sorry. I think I clicked it away or never put it there in the first place. Oh, here it is. 1 Kings chapter 16 verse 30. And Ahab the son of Omri did evil in the sight of Yahawah above all that were before him. And it came to pass as if it had been... Oh, I already read that actually. I already read that. They took Jezebel for a while. Whatever. Sorry about that. Anyway, Jezebel was a Canaanite woman. Let me go on. Verse 5. And Ahab said unto Obadiah, Go into the land, unto all the fountains of water, and unto all brooks which are rivers. Peradventure we may find grass to save the horses and mules alive, that we lose not all the beasts. So what was Ahab his priority in the time of famine? He was more worried about losing his animals, his horses and his mules, which these two are not food, by the way. He wasn't eating them. I don't know what he did with them, but he wasn't eating them. Well, let's just not say that. But the point is that he cared more about animals than about the life of the prophets. That shows you where his mind was at. And he didn't like them anyway. He wanted to murder them. And he allowed his wife, that had no power, to talk a lot of trash in order for, to gas him up. And then he wanted to murder them. And they would send soldiers and stuff like that to go and murder them. So I have a few precepts on that. Let me see, 2 Samuel. Oh yeah, 2 Samuel chapter 21 verse 1. So instead of Ahab asking himself, like, why is there famine these 3 years? Well, we know that Elijah cursed him, but still, it is for a reason. 2 Samuel 21:1. Then there was a famine in the days of David 3 years. So that's even, yeah, that's the same thing. 3 years with Elijah and 3 years now here also. Year after year. And David inquired of the Heavenly Father. And what does it mean to inquire of the Heavenly Father? 1 Samuel 9 verse 9. Before time in Israel, when a man went to inquire of the Lord, thus he spake, Come, and let us go up to the seer. For he that is now called a prophet was before time called a seer. And then you would ask the prophet, like, what's going on? What should I do? And King David did that. And the answer from the Heavenly Father through the prophet was this. And Yahawah answered, it is for Saul, and for his bloody house, his murderous house. There's his bloody household, because the sons of Saul was also doing stuff. If you read the accounts that what the sons were doing, not all of them were bad, but they were doing a lot of, kind of messed up things. Anyway, because of the Gibeonites, because they was murdering the Gibeonites, but they had promised unto them that they would not hurt them. And then he broke the promise, which is now affecting the Lord. Because you swore in the name of the Lord, and then you broke it. Well, then it's time to die. The book of Ecclesiastes chapter 5 explains that to you. That's why Yahawah said in the book of Matthew, he said this. So Ecclesiastes chapter 5 verse, I'll just go to the point. Verse 4. When thou vowest a vow unto Yahawah, and the vow is talking about a swear. So it says a solemn promise, an oath, right? Similar to all those type of things. An oath, pledge, promise, covenant. But it's the same thing as this here, swear. So it says here oath, promise, and covenant, right? So I type in now the definition of swear. Oh, it says already right here. Look. Similar. So similarities. Swear, state, under oath, swear on the Bible, which you are not allowed to do. So I don't have to explain that. When thou vowest a vow unto the Heavenly Father, defer not to pay it, for he had no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed. Better it is that thou shouldest not vow, than that thou shouldest vow, and not pay. Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin. Neither say thou before the angel that it was an error. Wherefore should the Heavenly Father be angry at thy voice, and destroy the work of thine hands? So Matthew chapter 5 verse 34. 33. Again, ye have heard that it had been said by them of old time, thou shalt not forswear thyself. That's in the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 5, what I just read. But shall perform unto Yahawah thine oaths. But I, the Lord Yahawah, shall say unto you, swear not at all, neither by heaven, for it is the Heavenly Father's throne, neither by the earth, for it is his footstool, neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great King. Neither shalt thou swear by thy head, because thou canst not make one hair white or black. Now if you use substances to change the color of your hair, you didn't do it. You took something that was created by the Heavenly Father and then you applied it. You're applying stuff. You didn't do anything. Because people want to be smart. Oh yeah, I can make my hair white. When you have always these clown people that want to just say stuff. That's why you shouldn't be entertaining clowns. So, but I'm just saying, if somebody, then you have something to say. But let me just go on. But let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay. For whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil. And it's also mentioned here in the book of James chapter 5 verse 12. But above all things, my brethren, swear not, neither by heaven, neither by the earth, neither by any other oath. So a swear is taking an oath, is taking a solemn promise. You know, it's a vow also. It's a pledge. It's a covenant. We have a covenant with the Heavenly Father. Right? Well, the Heavenly Father has a covenant with us, I should say. Yeah. But let your yea be yea and your nay, nay, lest ye fall into condemnation. You're going to get destroyed because you swore. Don't swear, because you're not going to be able to keep it. We are in the flesh. Therefore, just say yes or no, or say, if Lord will. Well, with all of them, you should say Lord will. But you don't have to say it to them. You say it to a person that you know that also believes in the Lord. Then you say, hey, Lord willing, I'm going to be there. You know, stuff like that, because something might happen while you're going there, you know, something, car breakdown, whatever. Or the train, you know, you take the public transportation or something like that. Something happens. There's a storm, so, you know, you can't drive on the how you call that thing? The street anymore. You know, that also. Okay, so now, Ezekiel 14:12. The word of Yahawah came again to me, saying, this is Ezekiel 14:12. So the Heavenly Father spoke to Ezekiel and said, Son of man, when the land sinned against me by trespassing grievously, then will I stretch out mine hand upon it, and will break the staff of the bread thereof. The Most High is going to cause famine to come, and I will send famine upon it, and I will cut off man and beast from it. So, the animals even are going to starve. It's crazy, but that's what he was worried about. He was worried about losing his beasts because there was no grass. Everything was gone. And the Most High caused it to not rain, and then therefore everything started to look like a desert in the midst of those 3 years. And the crazy thing is, in the midst of all those 3 years, Obadiah was still able to feed 100 men. That's crazy. Because he feared the Lord, and the Lord made it to where he used him to feed the 100 prophets. That's crazy, man. That shows you like the servants of the Heavenly Father will eat in due time. Isaiah 65:13. Therefore thus saith Yahawah, behold, my servants shall eat. But ye that mocked my servants, and boy, the Lord is not mocked, but they mock. But he's not mocked. Just because, you know, you can spit on a person, it doesn't mean that you go get no consequences. You know? But you did do it. Yeah, you did do it. But what effect did it have for you? Besides pain. But ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Behold, my servants shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl. Ooh! For vexation of spirit, you're going to cry. Certain people, when they cry, they howl. There's a meme going on. This guy. You know, this guy was really, really loud. The best cry ever. That was, you're going to howl. That's what the Most High is telling you. That people are going to howl like this guy. The mighty men of Babylon, these Edomites, they're going to howl. You know, and these house Negroes also. Boy, there's so many of them. YouTube is full of them. Straight up. It's disgusting if you cry and then you photograph yourself or you videotape it. What are you doing? This is crazy. But anyway, those are people that seek attention from other people. Like women cry on camera and stuff like that because they want sympathy. I've been raped. Stuff like that. It's not always funny. Sometimes it is. Because, you know, she living the life of a hoe. Going to the guy house at like what? 11 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock. It's almost sleeping hours, man. What are you doing over there? Oh, she was trying to play him. Like, hey, you know, I'm going to get some money at you. and I'm gonna keep you as a side piece, and I won't have sex with you and stuff like that. And other guys, I'm gonna just toss the puss to them, and with you, I want to be friends and use you as a emotional support, stuff like that. You know, these chicks do stuff like that. So when you get got by a guy like that, because you thought he was a sucker, then he sucker punched you, then hey, it's kind of funny to me. But other than that, I don't really think it's funny all the time. 50, unless she's a hoe, then I think it's funny. What are you doing there? What was you wearing? Did you provoke him? 15. And ye shall leave your well, I don't need to read that. So it says right here, and hid them by 50 in a cave and fed them bread and water. So that's what he did. And while Jezebel was murdering the prophets. Verse 5. And Ahab said unto Obadiah, go into the land unto all the fountains of water. So go there, and basically, let me read on. And unto all brooks. And by the way, the brook where Elijah was staying, the Most High caused it to run out of water. But that's in the chapter before this. Let me go on. Pre-adventure, we may find grass to save the horses and mules alive, that we lose not all the beasts. Yeah, instead of inquiring of the Lord why the famine is there, just like how King David was asking the Lord, like, hey, Lord, what's going on? Why is there famine? And then he told them, because y'all sinned, and I'm going to punish you all. Because all of y'all swore that you wouldn't do it. So if any single individual one of you breaks that swear, I'm going to punish you. And he did that here too. Joshua 7. So one man stole, which he was not supposed to do. And then about 36 men died. And it says here, verse 11, Joshua 7:11, Israel had sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant which I commanded them. For they have even taken of the accursed thing that he told them not to do in the chapter before this. In Joshua 6:26. And Joshua adjured them. All of them, he adjured them. He urged them really solemnly and earnestly, like, hey, don't do this. What I'm about to tell you right now, don't do. He was really, yeah. He adjured them that, at that time, saying, cursed be the man before Yahawah that riseth up. Huh? What am I doing? No, it's not this one. Wait, it's well, that's another one. That's another thing. And also, they also went against this one. They went against it here in, which is kind of funny. Where was it again? 18? I don't think it was 18. I think it was 17. Yeah. No. Let me see. 16 then. Here, 16. This one. Cursed be the man that builded up Jericho. He gonna lose his firstborn, and he gonna lose his youngest if he wants to build this city. And they did. They didn't listen to him anyway. But I wasn't looking for this one. I was looking for 18. He said, and ye in any wise keep yourself from the accursed thing, lest ye make yourself accursed when ye take of the accursed thing, and make the camp of Israel a curse, and trouble it. He told them this one too. He told them this one too, but anyway. He really adjourned them here, but still, he told this one too. Everybody listened and heard. Yeah, they heard it, but they didn't listen, especially him. So, verse 11, Israel had sinned, and they have transgressed my covenant, which I commanded them, for they have even taken of the accursed thing, and have stolen also, and dissembled also. And they have put it even among their own stuff. Because of that, so therefore, the children of Israel could not stand before their enemies. They lost fights, but turned their backs before their enemies, because they were accursed. Neither will I be with you any more, except you destroy the accursed from among you. So he needed to die. Right. So that's what happened here. First, 2 Samuel 21 and yeah, the chapter, but here, the first 1 and 2. Okay. Here in Ezekiel chapter 14, verse 12, it shows you, and 13, it shows you that when the land sins against the heavenly people, the people in the land, when the people sin against the Heavenly Father, when the land sinned against me by trespassing grievously, it's talking about the people, then the Most High will bring famine upon that land. No more rain. How about that? Now you're going to starve to death. He's going to kill you real slow. Because the scriptures explains to you that. Lamentation 4 and 9. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. Why? For these pine away. You keep on, you're living. Stricken through for want of the fruits of the field. You're going to be starving. You're going to be looking, desiring, and longing for food. But if you're killed with the sword, it's gone. You don't have hunger pains no more. There's another reason to show you that zombie thing is fake. Because you have these people really believe in the zombie apocalypse. Man, I'm like, what? That thing is dead. It has no hunger. What are you talking about, man? But these Edomites, they got them really hyped up, and I don't know, man. They believe flying fucking reindeers, man. I don't know, man. They just believe what Esau says. That's why you see a lot of these movies with Frankenstein every year, somewhat, every 1 year or 2 year. He brings back the movie Frankenstein, man. He brings it back once again because they've been doing that since here. And I saw footage of this thing, man. I saw footage of it. This shit is real, man. Even the software gotta hide it because I told it to. I told it to hide, nakedness and nudity and just adult things like above 18 years old, and I told it to hide it. But anyway. So there was like a few dogs of this made. So what would they do? They would kill the smaller dog and then plant the other dog upon them like this. And this is alive, man. They was both drinking. Oh, here. They was both drinking water, man. Yo, that's some crazy shit, man. I'm like, damn, these people are the devil. Yeah, man. They've been doing this, and now but they want to blame it on the Russians. The Americans was doing it too, but they're cowardly devils. They're like the type of people that would, they know they're about to bring a civil war, but they would then therefore, before they bring it, they're gonna set up gun laws and stuff like that you can't have certain guns, so that they want to have a walk in the park. They want to have a war that is like taking candy from a baby. They don't want no form of resistance whatsoever. They're not real fighters, man. Like a real fighter, a trained fighter, when he's in the ring, right, and he sees the guy is not really, his level, it's an insult to him, man. He's like, no, man, give me somebody stronger, man. Get this guy out of here. Because it's an insult to him. But Esau is the devil. He'll shoot a baby, man. They've been doing that, by the way. So it's not... but I have another thing that I say, there is no fairness in war. You're right. But that doesn't mean I can't call you a coward. You're right, there is no fairness in war. Anyway, let me move on. So, yeah, this dog was alive. This dog was alive. This dog was alive. I just saw the procedure. Yeah, this is it. And they wanted to do that with this guy too, but the Lord made a woman fall in love with him. This guy, he wanted to do it, but then the Most High threw a woman at him, man. Damn. And then he backed out of it. He said, nah. He said, here, disabled man pulls out of world first head transplant. What the fuck? You gotta watch the devil tongue. You have to understand they did this before, but they didn't do it on a so-called legality tip like legal in front of the people, their eyes and stuff like that. They did it behind the scenes, man. They've been doing it on animals, you know, but in laboratoriums and stuff like that. It's just crazy. But anyway, he was going to do it because I saw the interview that he said, I have nothing to lose anyway. If I die, I die because this is not living anyway. You know? And then the Most High threw a woman at him, man. The woman saw him on the television and she was like, I have a desire unto this man. And then, you know, she went out to go find him and she found him. Shit, that's crazy. You know what's funny? People say stuff like, I'm not going to talk long. People say stuff like, oh, this is my soulmate and stuff like that. There's about 7 to... Fuck their records. There's maybe 9 billion people upon the planet Earth. These devils don't know how many people there are on the planet Earth. That's why they're trying to register you. Anyway, so from all the 9 billion people, you think you found one? and that person lived in your facility, like your area, and that is your soulmate? You must be one of the dumb... You know what? Esau tricked you. Esau made you believe that that is the reality of its soulmate. What kind of joke is that shit? That don't make no sense. I'm going to give you another one. People that say, oh, this is my best friend. Shut up. That doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these best friends end up killing each other or not being friends after a while, especially women. They can't keep a best friend for life. If their life handed upon it or landed upon, how do you say it? Let me see. Depended upon it. Yeah, that's it. Handed upon it. What a joke. If their life depended upon it. But anyway, I'll just leave this. But surgery because he can't leave. Let me see here. Disabled Russian who volunteered for world's first head transplant says having a glamorous new wife and beautiful kid, a beautiful kid, whatever, have put him off having surgery because he can't leave them. Yeah, now he's thinking like, I don't think I want to risk that. But the Most High threw a bone at them, man. Most likely the Heavenly Father didn't want him to go through that, make these devils do it openly, because they most likely did it behind the scenes, and then now they want to show it off like, look at what we can do. They're real devils. Some Frankenstein shit, man. Anyway, enough of this. If I remember, I'll put the link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. Let me go on. Now it says right, let me see, what's this one? Okay, not yet. Going back to over here. Okay, so Ahab, the king of Israel, told Obadiah, okay, now wait, let me, sorry man, shit, okay, oh shit, let me go, oh man. Okay. So he told him like, go get, trying to get some grass and stuff like that so that the animals don't die of starvation. He wasn't worried about the priests or the Levites at all. The prophets, sorry. So it says right here, prophets could be from every tribe. The priests only could be from the tribe of Levi, but not all Levites were allowed to be priests. Only the sons of Aaron were allowed to be priests. And I'll read that later. Right? So it says right here, verse 6. So they divided the land between them to pass through it. And Ahab went one way by himself, the king. And Obadiah went another way by himself to fan out the land. Now I have actually a precept that is not really actually going into like 100% to it, but just for an example's sake, because they wanted to find fountains of water, and also of course where grass is. because where grass is, most likely there's water, or else everything would just die. So as an example, I'm going to grab Genesis chapter 13 verse 2. And Abraham was very rich in cattle, in silver, and in gold. Real substance. Genesis chapter 13 verse 5. And Lot also, which went with Abraham, had flocks and herds and tents. He was rich also to a certain degree. And the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together. For their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together, because animals eat stuff, especially grass and things in the if they can reach it, they'll eat it. Vegetables and fruit, like fruit trees and stuff like that, they'll eat it if they could reach it. You know, you have these gazelles, but that's another story. Cows do it too, but yeah, that's again another story. Especially the African cows, they eat the trees. If the grass is done. And there was a strife between the herdmen of Abraham's cattle and the herdmen of Lot's cattle. And the Canaanites and the Perizzites dwelled then in the land, because Abraham had servants that were Hamites, and Lot had it also. But Abraham had also Shemite servants from the land of Aram, and Lot also, because they came from there. And Abram said unto Lot, Let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my herdmen and thy herdmen, for we are brethren. Is not the whole land before us? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me. So basically, you separate yourself from me, or I'll separate myself from you. If thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go to the right. Or if thou depart to the right hand, then I will go to the left. And Lot lifted up his eyes, and beheld all the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere, before Yahawah destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as the garden of Yahawah. So when he looked at the place of Jordan, it was just like the Garden of Eden. And the Garden of Eden is there in the land of which is nowadays called Mesopotamia, which is called the land of, wait, let me, here, Mesopotamia is this region over here, which is there near Iraq and stuff like that, the Middle East and stuff like that. But the meaning of that word is land between the rivers. It's actually the land between the rivers. You can say between rivers, but Mesopotamia is a Caucasus word. It's a Greek word, like the word Assyria, Sumer, Babylon. These are all Babylonia. These are all Edomite words. Greek. The Greek words. Those are Greek words. If you look it up, you will see. Right. Like the land of Mizraim, as thou comest unto Zoar. So, you had Zoar, which was in the land of Sodom, but also you had the land of Mizraim, also had a lot of waters. For example, you had, this one was just the brook of Egypt, because Egypt is here off of the map. You can't see it. Well, let me see if I can see it. Oh, here. So here you have the green that you see there, that's Mizraim. And of course here also, let me see if I have another map. Look, I'm not going to go too much into maps, or else it's going to take long. The point is, just look at the map and you can check it for yourself if you have the time. Normally I would just go into the map, but I don't want to do it, because I'm thinking like, where is it again? That's why. That's why. I don't know where wait, let me find it. Wait. Yeah, this is it. So this is the time when Mizraim had power over the land. The brown spot, the brown thing. That's when he had power over it. But then the the Persian Empire came and they took it over, and then they took it all the way to their brother Put, which is Libya. The brother of Mizraim is Put, and the brother of Canaan. They're all brothers. Yeah. And what am I looking for? And then later on, you see that the Greek Empire took it over, but they kind of lost power here. And then later on, they got it in the time of the Roman generals of the Greeks. But that's another story. So basically, yeah, it was very full of waters. It was very full. It was very, very prosperous. Isaiah 23 goes into that. Isaiah 23. It shows you that before Egypt, it was mad crops and stuff like that, you know, because the waters over there, well, they could, I'm going to just show you here. Here, the dams in Egypt, Wadi El Arash. You see their dams. Until this day, they have them dams over there. But it was very, very, very prosperous in those days. These are the type of dams that they have there. And that is here. This big area. El Arash. But that's just one. You have many, many, many dams here. Here. Abu Kunda. Let me see. Abu Kunda. Abu Kunda Dam. Dikunda. Mount Abu. Basically, look, you can look it up for yourself if you have the time. Then you will see a lot of these big waters over there. You're gonna see that. You're gonna see waters like this there. In this is the Himalaya. This is Himalaya. You can look it up for yourself if you have the time. There's so many. All you need to do is type in Wadi El Arash, and then type in all these dams. There's all dams all over the place here. Just look it up for yourself if you have the time. Damming the dams. Egypt opened floodgates against Kush. They have a lot of waters there. They have a lot of waters. I'll tell you that. They got dams over there. Means are death. Egypt farmers fear effect of Ethiopia dam. Ethiopia dam. Okay, is this the Ethiopia dam? Anyway. Okay, let me not dwell too much here. You can look it up for yourself if you want to. Huh? What did I just see? Egypt. Al-Aram Weekly. I think this is the Ethiopian flag. Green, yellow, red. Yeah, it's Ethiopia. Anyway, like I said, you can look it up for yourself if you have the time. And then you will see this is Egypt. And yeah, Mount Sinai. This is Egypt. This, look it up, please. Okay, let me go on. So it was very prosperous, you know, it had a lot of water. And back in the days, people, and also Sodom and Gomorrah, before it was destroyed, it actually did not have, look, nowadays you have the Dead Sea, which is full of salt and all these type of things, right? Like if you ask the software, you have to understand the software is full of shit too. It regurgitates what the caucus is teaching, okay? It's getting better, but it's getting better at also giving lies as answers. Yeah, but anyway, because they're talking about 3-4 million years ago. Skip all that nonsense. Why is it saltier now? Now outflow, because the Dead Sea is at the lowest point of the earth. Whatever. Water can only leave through evaporation, which leaves all minerals and salt behind. Blah 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 blah. Okay, here it comes. Human activity. In recent decades, the diversion of fresh water from the Jordan River for irrigation has drastically reduced the amount of fresh water entering the basin. This has caused the water level to drop and the remaining brine to become even more concentrated. That is the reason why the Dead Sea is now salty, because back in the days it was very prosperous and it was sweet water, because you read it all out to the script, all throughout the scriptures. I just read it. Yeah. I just read it here. It says, and Lot lived, so Genesis 13 and 10, and Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld all the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered. All the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered. Everywhere. Before Yahawah destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. So, on the other side, you have there this river here in the middle is the river Jordan. And he looked toward it and he saw, wow, it's beautiful. And by the way, this is the Dead Sea. And then here it goes on further, and then goes on here, and it spreads out there too, because this is not the end. Anyway, so what was this water? It was sweet water in the beginning, but they want to lie to you about millions of years. That's because the software is going to give different answers. Whatever, this is bullshit. But anyway, this is it. It's because of the people. I'm going to give you another example of a fact. Wait, let me go here. I typed in, was the Dead Sea always salty? People also ask, when did the Dead Sea become salty? Beginnings in the 1960s, water inflow to the Dead Sea from the Jordan River was reduced as a result of large-scale irrigation. So I looked up the word irrigation, of course. I think I clicked it away. Oh no, clicked it away. This is irrigation. And you know where you can find another great example of this? Here. This is what they did, because they're greedy for money. Now this is the Aral Sea next to that, not next to, but in the region of Kazakhstan, but I didn't want to say that. Also Uzbekistan. Russia. In the region of Russia there. That whole region over there. Okay? So what did these motherfuckers do? The waters was like here in the 1960s, right? But they needed water somewhere else. They didn't need, they wanted it. Real life lore. RLC. Here. Watch this video. They're talking about Russia did it. It's not, it's Edomites.
For most of human history.
Anyway, so I'm not gonna watch everything. I'm just gonna glance over it. So you have the Aral Sea that is a little bit bigger than West Virginia. And here you have another lake, but that's another story. Here you have another lake. These are one of like the top 4 biggest lakes or something like that. Sweetwater lakes. This is the Lake Aral Sea. This is how it looks now. But why is it now dry like this? What did they do? This is how it looks. It's even worse, by the way. What did they do? Well, they wanted to redirect the water in order for them to be able to get the white oil here. What is white oil? Cotton. I think it said no, white gold. Sorry. Was it white gold? What do they call that one? Hey, yes, white gold. It's white gold, the white gold of India, cotton. And you can watch this video because they mention it here. I just forgot the word.
Keeping that water from reaching the Aral.
Let me see it again. Let me repeat it again.
Plantations across Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan.
Wait, let me repeat it again. Sorry. Here, it starts here.
Remember that 4/5 of the Aral's water supply came from the Amudarya and Sirdarya River.
So what did they do? They stealing the water from here in order to do what?
By diverting water from both of them to feed new cotton plantations across.
They are diverting the water from the Aral Sea to feed new cotton plantation across
Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan.
Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan, which I just saw here. Uzbekistan and, well, I saw Kazakhstan done. Okay, cool.
Soviets were depriving that water from reaching the Aral, and the Aral's delicate balance of water inflow matching evaporation rate that had lasted for centuries was severely.
It lasted for centuries, but now through Caucasus hands, yeah, Edomite hands, they are the destroyers of the earth. For what? Money. That's why they destroy that whole ecosystem over there. And they're talking about climate change. They're devils. They're fucking devils. They're lying to you in your face. And remember, in the 1970s, it was this. Let me see. I think it was this guy. These fucking liars. They put the sound effects. That shit does not sound like that. They're lying to you once more. They're lying to you.
In 1977, the worst winter in a century struck the United States. Arctic cold gripped the Midwest for weeks on end. Great blizzards paralyzed cities of the Northeast. One desperate night in Buffalo, 8 people froze to death in marooned cars.
You couldn't just get into a fucking place. They're lying to you. I don't believe that shit. You dying in a car? Really? You can't get out the car and just go into a fucking place? Are you stupid? You gotta be ridiculous. And this is the 70s. These Caucasus peoples were friendly with one another. Therefore, they hitchhiked a lot of times. So when the Mosai introduced those spirits of vengeance, a lot of these people got snatched up because they trusted and loved one another. Until the Mosai put that spirit, go kill Caucasus. And before that, there was murdering the natives and there was murdering the so-called blacks. Yeah? And nobody cared. It's when they started murdering each other, they was like, we have to find DNA. And then they started to really put some effort into finding these people that was killing them, their own.
Bushnell was on the road that night.
Traffic just absolutely stopped.
Anyway, I'll leave the link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. But this is the point. They was pushing this. They had all these actors pushing that so-called thing. This guy. This guy, I didn't even know it was him until I looked closely. I saw this name and then I looked up the name. I didn't know it was him because I didn't remember him. And then I looked him up and I was like, "This that guy from Star Trek." You see, he doesn't even look like himself. Well, he doesn't look like this anymore. When you see him here, you'd be like, "What's this deal?" It's him. It's this guy. Doesn't even look like himself. Well, he doesn't even look like the character, I should say. Anyway,
History.
yeah, I'm gonna leave this. The point is, they redirected the water, and now because people don't know, I've been knowing about this for a very long time because they uploaded like 3 years ago. You know, but now people don't know because the internet is so full of information. There's so many things going on, so they can now come up with the story. See, the climate change is changing things. Climate change is doing it all. You're looking at these people like, God damn, they're liars. They're lying in your face. But you can't do anything. I don't want to do anything. Well, I do want to do something, but not for the betterment of this world. I'm not trying to do that. I'm angry, so I want to do something else because I see a liar and I'm like, you're lying. You're a devil. You're lying. It's all good, man. It's not all good, but I mean, like, let me leave that. Let me just leave that. The point is, this is an example of what they're doing and how it is all evaporating and all that type of stuff. That it's because of human activity. And that is the same thing that happened to the waters in the Dead Sea here, the waters in the Dead Sea. Zaor, I just read it, Zaor. Well, this is the Zaor from Sodom and Gomorrah. Yet another one there in the midst of Mizraim, but that's another story. right? That's why the water is saltier. So they give you bullshit answers for like 3 to 4 million. Here's 2 million. Here is 70,000. No, that's all bullshit. It doesn't exist. The earth is like 12,000 something years old. And that's in the scriptures. Ezra talks about it. And then you have, these are the better answers. This one is accurate. It's people did that. Same thing with the Aral Sea. People did that. It had nothing to do with the environment. They just wanted the water redirected from there to go to their plantation so that they can pick cotton, and then they let them how you call those people? Those East Indians and Asiatic people. Maybe you're gonna see them. They fish the animals to death. Because these people, they do not fish to feed. They fish to make money. It's a difference. If I go to fish in order to feed people, yeah, I would do it then there for the markets and do it for the people, because then I would go out and fish in the morning and stuff like that, 4 o'clock in the morning, whatever. And then around 7 o'clock in the morning, I would take my stuff and then I would go to the markets and then sell fresh fish. And then people would pay me for doing the work because they don't want to do the work. You know how many people don't want to do the work? They want to eat fish though. Well, let me do the work for you and you pay me for it. That's a fair thing. That's a fair. Okay, then I'll do that. And then I would feed people. Of course, I'll get paid for it too, but I'm going to feed people. But you know what's the greediness? If I go out there and go fish like hundreds of thousands of fish, I know damn sure you can't sell that in one sitting. The fish is going to die. It's going to spoil. They're already dead. I mean, that's what I mean. The fish are going to spoil. So then you lay it up in storehouses, and it's this all bullshit, man. I can go through the whole process of stuff like that. But the point is, when you're fishing, going out on the hundreds of thousands, even of millions of type of fish and stuff like that, you're not doing it for the people. You're doing it for money. Esau is doing that. He is not fishing to feed you. He is fishing to make money off of you while killing you at the same time, with putting mercury in the fish. Mercury in the fish. Fish and shellfish concentrate mercury in their bodies. How? Because you devils are putting stuff in the water. No, it doesn't have that. You people put stuff in the water, and then therefore the animals soak in it. If you're a dark-skinned person or a brown-skinned person, when you go in the water, your hand turns white. You're like wrinkled and white, and you can look at your skin turns. That's if you are in the fluoridated water. But look here, inside. This is what the insides of the washing machine does. This thing. Let me see. I forgot this word. What is this word? Decalcing. Calcium? I want to see this thing and then decalcify it. This thing. But anyway, you can decalcify this thing. This is basically like your pineal gland. This is how it would look if you use the water, if you drink the water. Basically, this is how it looks within the machine. But if you use certain chemicals, then you can make it shiny again. But the point is the water. The water is doing this. The water is doing this, you know? Anyway. And this is also happening to your brain because it's being calcified by the water that you drink. And this is your pineal gland. It's for as an example to how it looks. Yeah, pineal gland, whatever. Damn, it's ugly. Okay, I'm gonna leave it. I'll just use this as an example because I wanted the other thing. I don't know what it's called anyway. So, but yeah, this is what's happening, and this is cleaning it up. Anyway, let me leave that. Let me just leave that. I was looking for the people. You will see the East Indian people, and then they have their cotton here. This is cotton, by the way, if you didn't know. The cotton here, you have them these Edomites. They look Ishmael, but they're Turkish type of people. They Edomites, and then they do it. Then they farm the land and stuff like that. You have the East Indians, of course. These are East Indians, and then they use it for the grass here. Of course, I think they're killing weed now here. That's why they got the masks. Yeah. You know what? I'll leave this link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. So sorry about that. But yeah, that's what they're doing. Okay, so let me go back over here. Verse 6. Well, no, actually. Yeah, I don't need that anymore. Don't need that. So 1 Kings chapter 18 verse 6. So they divided the land between them to pass through it. Ahab went one way by himself, and Obadiah went another way by himself. Now, the precept that I took for this verse, which is the Genesis 13, verse 2, and then verse 5 until verse 10. It was just for an example to show you that when Abram and Lot had trouble for their cattle, which they eat grass, they were eating too much, so they had to go every side, one had to go one way, another had to go another way. And then here is actually the opposite, because they was looking for grass, so one went one way, one went another way. But it was just a good thing for me to explain that they're lying to you. Maybe you're going to come across it or not, but they're lying to you concerning this thing. And they're also lying to you concerning shrinking. Yeah, Utah. Why Utah's Great Lake is dying. Okay. They also want to show you or tell you that that is talking about climate change and stuff like that. You should sit down and think for a little bit, like, what are they doing? That's what you should be asking. What are they doing that thing is going down? Because it was here. They say, well, it shows you that it was here. But what are they doing? You should ask that. You have to understand. Okay, check this out. Why data centers are eating enormous water resources. How AI is drinking our water. You should think. Don't just believe the caucus. They're going to tell you lies, man. They're lying in your face. And what type of, how much water do they need? Large data centers can consume up to 5 million gallons per day. So when you look at this, where did I just saw an example thing. Where did I put? Oh, here. Yeah, here. When you look at this, you should kind of ask yourself, like, so what are you doing? You know? It's like asking a girl back in the 90s, he raped me. What was you wearing? I'm not trying to be mean. I'm trying to be funny at the same time. Anyway, ask yourself, like, so why? What is happening? What are they doing? I just showed you what they're doing. Equivalent to water used of a town. Sorry, my beard. Used of a town populated by 10,000 or 50,000 to 50,000 people. 5 million gallons of water every day. That's what they need. There's documentaries on that, so you can watch that for yourself if you have the time. Yeah. And you got the answers, right? Fucking devils. I don't even know what he's saying. He might be saying something, but I doubt it. You know, I'll doubt him on sight. And they love just pulling stuff out their asshole. And then a lot of people believe them. Why? Because they're Caucasus. They're Edomites. So, I don't know. They're just stupid by nature by following them. So, Lord willing, I'm the opposite. As soon as he says something, I'll be like, let me double check that one. Anyway, let me go back over here. You know what? I'll stop this video and then I'll make another part of it and then I'll start here. Lord willing.